is going to both my channels. I want to talk about how to spot out frauds. And this is going to be very simple. You see, a lot of people think that if you're going to spot out something, we'll use an example, fake money. You know, if you get a professional, I don't want to brag, but like me, and you give them money, and they got different bills, and you tell them to spot out the fraud. You see different people have different levels of what do you call it? I'll say knowledge on how to spot out fraud. Some people will pick it up and detect it right away. Bam, this is the fraud. Other people, it takes some time. And then you get the ones who, they look at this, and they look at that, and they're just trying to guess it. And, well, they pick the wrong dollar bill. They pick out a real dollar, and they say that it's the fraud. Now, why does this happen? Let me explain why. What you want to do when you're learning about something like money, or documentation, or religion, or spiritual beliefs, the best thing that you want to do is study the truth. Here is a $2 bill. What I would do is I would study this $2 bill. I would study the truth. I'm not going to listen to anyone else's study on it. I'm not going to do what they tell me to do as far as this means this and that means that. What I do is I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look at the way it was put together. I'll go to the people who created it and find out whatever I can as far as, well, the things that they'll let you know legally. I'll use a microscope and I'll look in there and I'll see how these are not lines around his face, but how it actually says American currency $2 bill, or it says something like that around there, around his face. That's not a line around it. It's actually micro wording, and you need a microscope to see it, or a loop to see what it says. And what I'm going to do is study real money, study the truth so well, and have it memorized so well that when I see a counterfeit, I'm going to know it's a counterfeit, not because I studied counterfeit money, not because I looked at different types of counterfeits, like, okay, if it has this, it's a counterfeit, if it has that, it's a counterfeit, no. But because I know the truth so well, I'm able to spot the counterfeit. And that's what we want to do. Now, recently I've been doing whatever I can to find the truth behind veganism and fruitarianism. My obligation was to show the truth so people could see that these are good. Now, while doing this, I could see that there's a lot of false information. A lot of false information. And it's interesting because to people who follow these diets, because I'm able to spot the counterfeit information and the wrong information, they think I'm against the vegan diet or the fruitarian diet, when that's not it at all. It's just that I want people to believe in those diets because of truth, not because of all these lies. But when it comes down to it, these fruitarian diets and vegan diets are religious beliefs and personal opinions. I was talking to some health experts, vegans, who've been doing this stuff for many, many years. One gentleman was a trainer and been promoting a healthy lifestyle for 30 years. For 30 years, he's not a vegan, as I make sure I make clear, but he does have the vegan eating habits and has followed them for 30 years without cheating. And when I found this gentleman, started talking to him, I was very surprised to learn things about these studies on like the fruitarian diet, as far as they've never done a study on a fruitarian diet on a fruitarian, but they replaced the food with corn syrup in order to act as the fruit sugars in the human body. And the thing is I study the truth, everyone. I study the truth in order to find the counterfeits. But if you're not able to read the Bible and you don't know the Bible and you come at me because I won't do a 6-hour study that shows the Bible's words don't mean what they say, why am I going to do that? Because I know what parts of the Bible are made to be taken literally by the way they're written in Greek. And for someone to tell me that I'm wrong and that God's wrong and that the Bible's wrong and that every Greek is wrong and that every Hebrew is wrong and everyone who ever studies the Bible and learns about it, they're all wrong, and that you're right because the Bible doesn't mean this, it actually means something else, you're wrong. And if you're not adult enough to admit when you're wrong and you're just believing whatever you can to back up your diets or whatever, and you go against all these things in the Bible and you have all these excuses on why Jesus didn't eat meat, or because the angels who brought down the meat doesn't mean that they, and when God said to eat meat doesn't mean that God meant to eat meat when he said to eat meat. And that in Genesis, when it says that the birds of the air and the fish in the sea and the beasts of the earth and the fruits of the trees and mentors are fruit, doesn't mean that the earth are the birds of the air and the fish of the sea and the beasts of the earth, but only the fruit means to eat is our food, and no grain and nothing else. And that milk and honey are not made to thrive on when our bodies do thrive on it, and because we see nothing but benefits from it, and that God promised a land of milk and honey, and that God gave heavenly manna. God's not going to give, there's so many things that all go against the Bible and go against God. And for people to be insulted when they say these things against my God, as far as the God in the Bible, and for you to be insulted because I'm believing the truth, and because I believe God over what your false church says that's going through all these excuses, which has a background of all sorts of horrible things, whose prophet is proven to have written lies, who even said that God made mistakes, and that Jesus and God are not one, the same person, it completely goes against the Bible. For someone else to be insulted because they badmouth my Lord, what is wrong with you people? What is wrong with all you people going out there with these cults and then acting as if you have a reason to feel sorry for yourself because you're going against God? It is horrible. It is horrible how gays are insulted that other people are offended by them. You know what? How bad is it going to get? Just think of it. Just think if Hitler had won, it's very similar. Gays would not exist, but people would be like, you're against killing a Jew? Oh my God. To them, that'd be unethical. You'd be so evil for being against killing a Jew. But today, it's getting that bad. If you're not for abortion, killing babies, oh my gosh, you're horrible. If you're not for this pro-gay thing, which is completely unnatural and against human psychology and against the human body and everything, then they act like they have reason to be insulted by us. The whole world is round by counterfeits now. Everything is fake. And if you're one of the very few people who study the truth, you're going to be an outsider, and people be insulted by your truth. And not even by the truth, but even if you try and back up the counterfeit, like I've been trying to back up Rutarianism, and even if you're on their side, they will get mad at you just for talking the truth because it doesn't back up their belief. And I'm sick and tired of you people who hate the truth. If you don't like me, don't talk to me anymore. I don't need you as a friend. I don't. If you hate the truth that much, I don't need to talk to you. It's that simple. I study the truth. I find the truth to spot the counterfeits. That's why I know it's fake. I don't need to douse into all these studies in order to tell a counterfeit when it's so obvious. Spotting counterfeits is common sense. You don't have to be a scientist to figure that out.